Okay, so this is another complete example of everything that we have to do for this specific section. So we're going to go ahead and find the domain, vertical asymptotes, horizontal asymptotes, holes if they exist. And the first step, remember, is we want to go ahead and factor. So I'm going to go ahead and factor this guy. And in the numerator, we have leading coefficient. So we should have a pretty good understanding of what to do here. We've seen this a lot. So I take these two terms and multiply them. That gives me 8. What two numbers multiply to 8 but add to -9? That's -1 and -8. So I'm going to go ahead and split my middle term into those two guys here. And remember, it doesn't matter really what order I put these guys in. It'll still work out. Split the middle and pull the greatest common factor out of both the left and the right side. So that leaves me with x minus 4. I pull out a -1 so this guy matches. And then the x minus 4 gets pulled out. And I'm left with this. So my factored polynomial, r of x, is equal to x minus 4 times the quantity of 2x minus 1. And the denominator is a difference of two squares, so that's x minus 4, x plus 4. So I've already factored, and now I'm going to see a few things. I'm going to start listing my vertical asymptote, my domain, and all my asymptotes if a hole exists. So my domain is just simply the x values that make each one of these factors 0. So I know x cannot equal plus or minus 4. So that's my domain. Okay, now vertical asymptote, got to be careful here. I have a common factor over common factor, so this guy right here is my hole. So that means only this guy right here that I just put the box around is going to be my vertical asymptote. I'll put my hole right there next to it, which is x is equal to 4, and then the very last one is going to be my horizontal asymptote. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at the original function, and I see it's the same degree over the same degree. So I have degree 2 over degree 2, so it's a leading coefficient over leading coefficient. So y is equal to 2 is my horizontal asymptote. So these are all the pieces of information that I need. So now I'm going to go ahead and graph this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and graph my vertical and horizontal asymptote. So my vertical asymptote is at -4. My horizontal asymptote is at 2. And you can use your calculator, you can create a table. I know I have a hole at 4, and so this graph is going to be somewhat like this. And this is approximation here, and remember we always have a reflection across this diagonal. And so there is a complete problem. We have to find all this information, what we have to look for, and graphing it using a calculator. And remember, if we don't have a calculator, we would use a table. And what I did in one of those quick check problems is I plotted a couple points. For example, 0. This is a generic picture, but I'm going to plot 0, 1, 2. I know what 4 is, and 5, just to see the behavior around the hole and see what's happening.